2025 is crawling with horror. Monsters, madness, and mind-bending fear. These are the top 20 horror games that'll keep you up at night. Here we go. Pathologic 3 is the next twisted chapter in the cult psychological survival series that throws you headfirst into a dying town gripped by plague, madness, and mystery. Developed once again by Ice Pick Lodge, this game isn't just a sequel, it's a mind-bending return to that suffocating, surreal world where nothing is ever quite what it seems. You're not the hero here, you're a surgeon, a sleuth, a sinner. Choices matter, time matters. Every hour the plague spreads, people die, and the world changes, whether you act or not. Expect limited resources, morally gray decisions, and some of the most haunting dialogue and storytelling you'll ever experience in a game. Gameplay is brutal and immersive. You'll scavenge for food, barter for medicine, build trust, or burn bridges with the town's strange, unforgettable characters. There's no hand-holding here, just raw survival, strange rituals, and a clock that never stops ticking. Critics are already buzzing. After the wild success of Pathologic 2, many are calling this one of the most anticipated psychological survival games in years. Fans of weird fiction, immersive sims, or just games that mess with your head, this one's for you. And if you've played Pathologic 2, you already know, you're not ready. Macabre is set to release in late 2025, and it's already creeping up the most anticipated horror games list. This one's a first-person multiplayer survival horror game set in the shadowy depths of the Australian wilderness, but with a supernatural twist that's anything but natural. Developed by WeForge Studio, Macabre drops you and your crew of runners into time-distorted zones filled with ancient relics and nightmarish entities that hunt by sound. Your mission? Get in, grab the relics, and escape alive. Sounds simple, until the forest itself starts turning against you. Gameplay is stealth-heavy, tense, and immersive. No map, minimal light, just raw survival. You'll use subtle audio cues to avoid creatures that evolve and adapt. And the worst part? You're not guaranteed to make it out together. Teammates can abandon you if things go sideways. Critics and early access players are calling it Phasmophobia meets the forest, with tighter pacing and a disturbing, grounded atmosphere. It's gritty, it's fresh, and it's designed for replayability. With its terrifying sound design, dynamic environments, and deep co-op mechanics, Macabre is shaping up to be one of 2025's breakout horror hits. If you think you're ready, you're not. Carnival Hunt is an asymmetrical multiplayer horror game launching late 2025, and it's as creepy as it is creative. Set inside a haunted steampunk carnival, you'll either play as a hare, a tiny wind-up creature trying to survive, or as the terrifying carnival monster hunting them all down. The twist? Hares need to wind each other up to stay alive. Run out of key power and it's game over. No weapons, no second chances, just pure stealth, strategy, and nerve. The monster? It's fast, brutal, and has one job: hunt every last hare. Matches are tense, unpredictable, and filled with eerie carnival sounds, dark hallways, and jump scares around every corner. Early testers are calling it Dead by Daylight meets Five Nights at Freddy's, but with a unique twist on survival mechanics that really stands out. If you're into intense multiplayer horror with a fresh spin, Carnival Hunt might be your next obsession. Wind up or get hunted. The Bornless is an occult-themed PvPvE extraction horror shooter set to launch in early access later in 2025. It drops you and a partner into a fog-covered island where demonic forces, rival players, and ancient rituals collide in a fight for survival and power. You'll start in a lonely cabin, scavenging incense, battling cultists, and unlocking mysterious shrines. But that's just the beginning. As the match progresses, you'll enter ritual zones, summon terrifying demons, and try to escape with powerful sigils, while other teams are doing the exact same thing. The gameplay is intense. You've got traditional FPS gunplay mixed with black magic, strategy, and high-stakes decision-making. Every run is a gamble. Lose and your gear is gone. Win and you come back stronger. Players who got early hands-on during Steam Next Fest are calling it one of the most atmospheric and original horror shooters in years. With its blend of ritual-based combat and extraction tension, the Bornless is shaping up to be something special. So grab your lantern, say your prayers, and prepare to summon hell. This is survival with a ritual twist. We Harvest Shadows is a chilling single-player horror game set on a remote Appalachian farm. And trust me, this is not your cozy countryside retreat. You play as Garrett, a man looking for peace, but instead finds himself haunted by something ancient, watching, waiting. During the day, you plant, harvest, and try to live a normal life. But once night falls, the shadows close in. You'll hear whispers in the walls, see figures at the tree line, and realize you're not alone. It's part farming sim, part survival horror, and it messes with your head in all the best ways. Gameplay mixes time management, exploration, and terrifying stealth sequences. You'll upgrade your tools by day, and try not to lose your mind by night. Early previews are calling it the perfect blend of rural calm and creeping dread. Fans of Mundon or the Mortuary Assistant will feel right at home. If home had eyes in the dark. Get ready to sow seeds and reap shadows. Subliminal is an eerie first-person psychological horror puzzle game built in Unreal Engine 5, and it's turning heads for its surreal, dreamlike environments. You'll explore strange liminal spaces that feel familiar but off. Empty malls, flickering hallways, distorted rooms, and solve light-based puzzles using shadows, reflections, and perspective. There's no combat here, just creeping dread, ambient storytelling, and that unsettling feeling that something's watching you from just out of sight. It's inspired by the Backrooms, but it's going in its own direction, leaning into memory, identity, and psychological decay. No release date yet, but early trailers and insider buzz say it's visually stunning and deeply immersive. If you liked Superliminal or the Stanley Parable, this one's gonna hit hard. Keep your eye on it, because when reality bends, your mind might break. The Lost Wild is an upcoming survival horror game where you're not the predator, you're the prey. Set in a lush, overgrown jungle filled with dinosaurs, this game focuses on stealth, exploration, and smart survival rather than combat. You play as a stranded documentarian navigating a derelict research facility while being hunted by intelligent, reactive dinos. There are no guns, only tools to distract, evade, or hide. It's all about tension, atmosphere, and escape. The gameplay feels like Alien Isolation mixed with Jurassic Park, and it's getting a lot of buzz for its immersive design and realistic creature AI. Critics are already praising its approach to horror and pacing. Developed by Great Ape Games and published by Annapurna Interactive, it's still in development with a release expected in late 2025 or 2026. Survival horror fans, this one's worth watching. Subnautica 2 is diving back into the deep with a brand new co-op survival experience set on an alien ocean planet. This time you won't be alone. The sequel brings multiplayer to the series for the first time, letting you explore the depths with up to 3 friends. Built in Unreal Engine 5, the visuals are jaw-dropping. Glowing reefs, terrifying trenches, and mysterious ruins all teeming with life and danger. You'll gather resources, craft high-tech gear, pilot submarines, and try to survive in a world where the ocean always hides something worse just below. Critics are hyped about the addition of co-op and what it means for storytelling and exploration. Developers Unknown Worlds, known for the original Subnautica and Below Zero, are keeping their signature mix of isolation, beauty, and fear intact. No exact release date yet, but if you love the original, Subnautica 2 is shaping up to be bigger, deeper, and scarier than ever. If you're into grotesque horror, intense body horror physics, and sheer survival madness, Ill is a game you need on your radar. Developed by Team Clout, Ill throws you headfirst into a crumbling world filled with twisted, mutating abominations. Built in Unreal Engine 5, it's visually insane. Flesh rips, bones snap, and monsters don't just die, they deform. The gameplay? It's brutal. You've got visceral first-person combat, detailed gun mechanics, and real-time body destruction that feels straight out of a nightmare. Think Dead Space meets Resident Evil, but with physics that make every shot feel real. You'll scavenge for ammo, solve puzzles, and fight for your life in narrow hallways and decaying buildings. It's gritty, slow-burn horror at its best. Critics and fans alike are buzzing thanks to its ultra-realistic visuals and terrifying atmosphere. It's one of the most anticipated indie horror games right now, and it's still in development, so expect even more polish before release. If you love survival horror that doesn't hold back, Ill looks like it's gonna mess you up in the best way possible. Deathground is a co-op survival horror game where you and your team are trapped in a facility with realistic AI-driven dinosaurs hunting you down. Think Jurassic Park, but way deadlier. You can play solo or in squads, sneaking through dark corridors, solving objectives, and scavenging supplies, while trying not to get your face ripped off by a raptor. Each dinosaur reacts dynamically to light, sound, and movement, making every run unpredictable. Powered by Unreal Engine 5, the environments look incredible. Rain, fog, flashing lights, it's tension all the way. Critics and early access players are praising its atmosphere, intense jump scares, and smart creature behavior. Developed by Jaw Drop Games, Deathground's got serious potential to become the next big thing in co-op horror. Dino horror fans, this one's for you. Stay quiet or your dinner. Quite a Ride is a surreal psychological horror game that starts with you waking up on a bike, with no memory, no direction, and a phone that only charges while you're moving. The gameplay is all about momentum. You ride through strange, shifting environments, abandoned cities, warped forests, and twisted roads. If you stop, your phone dies, and when that happens, the voice guiding you disappears. Then the real horror begins. There are no weapons, no clear enemies, just movement, eerie atmosphere, and the constant pressure of not knowing what's real. Critics are calling it a haunting blend of dread and curiosity, and horror fans are comparing it to Iron Lung and Paratopic for its stripped-down but effective approach. With its minimal controls, disturbing world, and growing mystery, Quite a Ride looks like a hidden gem in the indie horror scene. Brokenlore Low is a chilling, psychological horror prologue set in a forgotten Japanese village cursed by legend. You play as Naomi, drawn into a looping nightmare haunted by the Gashadokuro, a towering yokai from folklore. Gameplay is all about atmosphere. No combat, just pure dread, eerie exploration, and symbolic storytelling. The game blends hyper-real visuals with retro pixel aesthetics, constantly shifting your perception between reality and memory. Every loop reveals more about the village's secrets and Naomi's past. Critics love its haunting tone, creative storytelling, and unique visual style. It's short, powerful, and lingers with you. Developed by Serafini Productions, Low sets the stage for the upcoming Brokenlore Unfollow. If you're into immersive horror with deep symbolism and vibes that get under your skin, this one's a must-play. Blight Survival is a brutal, third-person co-op horror game set in an alternate 14th century. You and up to 3 friends play as Rythens, tasked with stopping a supernatural plague turning the dead into monsters. The gameplay blends medieval melee combat with stealth, scavenging, and extraction-based survival. Block, parry, sneak, or slice your way through ruined villages, foggy swamps, and eerie forests. Each mission is high stakes. Lose everything if you die. It's being developed by Henner Studio, backed by Behavior Interactive. Yeah, the Dead by Daylight devs, so horror fans are watching this closely. Critics are calling it a gritty mix of Hunt, Showdown, and Dark Souls. Fans love the moody atmosphere, the cinematic world, and the tension of every run. With its mix of intense combat, co-op gameplay, and medieval horror, Blight Survival could be one of the most original survival games in years. Directive 8020 is the next big sci-fi horror chapter from Supermassive Games, creators of Until Dawn and the Dark Pictures anthology. This time, we're deep in space aboard the Cassiopeia, a ship sent to scout a new planet. But something's off, real off. You're part of the crew when strange events start happening, the AI may be compromised, something's lurking. The vibe? Alien meets Dead Space with that signature Supermassive style. Gameplay is cinematic, choice-based, and packed with tension. Every decision you make can mean life or death, for real. Think quick-time events, branching paths, and eerie exploration through dark corridors in zero gravity. Critics are already calling it one of Supermassive's most ambitious projects. Fans love the shift to sci-fi, and expectations are high. With Supermassive at the helm, this one's set to be a haunting ride into the unknown. Caroline Walker is back, and this time she's plunged into the depths of a cursed South American village. Tormented Souls 2 amps up the terror with haunting environments, twisted enemies, and mind-bending puzzles that'll leave you second-guessing every step. Sticking true to its survival horror roots, you'll navigate eerie fixed camera angles, manage scarce resources, and rely on whatever you can find, from rusty crowbars to makeshift weapons, to fend off the horrors stalking you. Critics are calling it a love letter to classic horror. Think Resident Evil meets Silent Hill, but with its own brutal flavor. Fans of the first game will feel right at home with its unsettling atmosphere and deeper lore. Built by Dual Effect and published by P-Cube, the sequel sharpens everything: visuals, combat, and psychological storytelling. If you crave old-school horror with a modern twist, Tormented Souls 2 should be on your radar. Sinking City 2 drags you back into the murky depths of Oakmont, where madness seeps through every crack in the crumbling city. Powered by Unreal Engine 5, this sequel amps up everything. More detailed visuals, smoother combat, and a hauntingly immersive atmosphere that never lets up. You play a tormented investigator unraveling a cosmic mystery, one clue at a time. Expect disturbing visions, twisted monsters lurking beneath the floodwaters, and choices that mess with your sanity. The exploration is more open, the detective mechanics are deeper, and survival, much tougher. Critics who've previewed it are praising its Lovecraftian tone and tighter gameplay loop. Frogwares, known for their Sherlock Holmes titles and the original Sinking City, is going bigger and bolder this time around. If you like horror, mystery, and the creeping dread of the unknown, this one deserves a spot on your radar. Industria 2 drops players into a haunting, surreal world where time fractures and reality bends. This sequel picks up where the original left off, but ramps up the stakes and the dread. You're back in a Cold War-inspired alternate universe, filled with eerie silence, rogue AI, and disturbing environments that feel almost too real. Gameplay blends first-person exploration with atmospheric shooting. Expect tight corridors, mechanical horrors, and puzzles that make you question what's real. New mechanics include stealth options and modular weapon upgrades, deepening the immersion. Critics are already praising its visual style and narrative tone. It's being called Half-Life meets Control. Bleakmill, the original developer, returns with Unreal Engine 5, pushing graphical fidelity and ambient storytelling. If you're into thoughtful shooters with a philosophical edge, Industria 2 is shaping up to be unforgettable. ReAnimal, the upcoming horror co-op adventure from the minds behind Little Nightmares. This time, Tarsier Studios takes us into a twisted island where two siblings must work together to survive. One player controls the brother, the other the sister, or go solo with clever AI. Expect puzzle solving, tense stealth, and eerie creatures around every corner. The camera's fixed in cinematic, creating that old-school horror feel, but with a modern twist. Early impressions say it's got the same creepy charm that made Little Nightmares a hit, just with more player freedom and emotional weight. Critics are already hyped, calling it a dark fairy tale done right. With support for online and couch co-op, plus a haunting atmosphere, ReAnimal is shaping up to be one of 2025's must-plays. And yep, coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series XS, and Switch 2. Don't sleep on this one, it's gonna get weird. Step into the roots of horror with Silent Hill F, the next psychological nightmare in Konami's legendary franchise. Set in 1960s rural Japan, this haunting prequel dives deep into psychological and botanical terror. You'll explore decaying villages, unravel a disturbing narrative, and face grotesque flora-infested horrors like never before. Developed by Neobards Entertainment and written by Ryukishi07, famed for Higurashi, this game blends classic Silent Hill atmosphere with Japanese folklore and slow-building dread. Expect surreal enemies, tense exploration, and a narrative that'll crawl under your skin. Running on Unreal Engine 5, Silent Hill F looks stunning and terrifying. Critics are already buzzing about its return to form. Can this rebirth revive the franchise's legacy? We'll find out soon. A new world, a lost future. In Cronos: The New Dawn, you crash land on a planet that wasn't supposed to exist. Rich in life, drenched in secrets, and home to something ancient and watching. You play as a deep space explorer thrust into the unknown, where every choice could be your last. Scavenge, survive, and build a new home while uncovering cryptic ruins left by a vanished civilization. Craft high-tech gear, command a growing crew, and fight off mutated wildlife and strange anomalies in real time. Powered by Unreal Engine 5, the game stuns with weather systems, alien biomes, and story-driven progression. From solo exploration to squad-based missions, Cronos: The New Dawn blends sci-fi survival, RPG mechanics, and cosmic mystery into one unforgettable journey. Will you build a future or awaken something that should have stayed buried?